students, or geometry students, excuse me. I'm so used to doing algebra videos, it's kind of funny. We're going to be in section 1.3 now, and we're going to do a couple of examples in here. And our goal this time is to measure and construct angles. Remember, last section was measuring and constructing segments, and now we're going to do angles. So let's get started. You see there on your paper, an angle is a figure formed by two rays or sides with a common endpoint. And we call that common endpoint the vertex. And they gave you the plural vertices. We don't call them vertexes. We call them vertices if we're talking about more than one vertex. You can name an angle several ways, and we're going to practice this as we go through it. You can name it just using its vertex. So in the example that you see to the right there, you could call that angle R. You can call it by a point on each ray and the vertex. So you could do angle SRT or TRS. The vertex is always in the middle. You're using three letters, and you're basically wherever the two rays kind of meet and form that vertex, that endpoint or your vertex has to be the middle letter. Okay, that's really important because you can't call this angle RST or angle RTS. Neither S nor T are your vertices, neither one are a vertex. So R is your vertex, R has to be in the middle. Or you can call it the angle using just the number if it's provided. In this case, angle 1 is provided. So the set of all points between the sides of the angle is the interior. You can see that too in your drawing there. They've color-coded that kind of a pinkish, orangey, peachy looking color. The exterior is outside of that angle. So that's in blue in our picture. And you can see the angle names. I'm going to go ahead and get up now and start drawing on the board. You can see the angle names just like I told you. Angle R, notice the symbol that they use to denote angles, okay? It looks like an angle, doesn't it? So just be really careful, make sure it's not too close to looking like an L. Try and maybe over accentuate that enough where that will never be mistaken, okay? So angle R, you could use just the vertex itself, that's fine. You can use the three letters, SRT, with R being your vertex, must be in the middle, or you could call it angle TRS. Again, R being your vertex, must be in the middle, or you can call it angle 1. If they have numbered the angles, you can call it angle 1. So there's several ways you can write it. Now where this becomes a problem, this is what your book was talking about right here. Where this becomes a problem, and let's say you have this really big angle like this, and a line going through it, and let's say they're calling this vertex A. You cannot call this angle angle A because you don't know if you're talking about, is this angle A? Is this angle A? Is this whole thing angle A? Which there are three angles there. You've got the two in the middle and then the one big one, but which one is angle A? So this is the catch, is if you have multiple angles sharing that vertex, then you cannot use the single letter. Okay, so that's what they're trying to say here. You cannot name an angle just by its vertex if the point is the vertex of more than one angle. We have more than one angle here. We have an angle here, here, and then of course the whole thing. So in this case, you're going to have to use the 3 points to name the angles, or if numbers are provided, you can use numbers. Sorry about that bell. It is Saturday. I don't know why the bells are ringing. So let's flip the page. Here we go. And let's look at example 1, naming angles. A surveyor recorded the angles formed by a transit, which is point T, there's your vertex, and 3 distant points Q, R, and S. Name 3 of the angles. I'm just going to use the letters, and then I'm going to use the check it out to do all the other ways that we could do it. So there are 3 angles that are being shown here, okay? So let's do angle Q, T, T being the vertex, R. Let's do angle R, T, S. And then the big one, angle Q, T, S. So that's using the 3 letters, and we cannot use the vertex only because there's too many angles. If you just say angle T, it's like, well, which one are you calling angle T? Because there's 3 of them there, and it's just too confusing. You won't be able to do that. Now, some different ways we can name the angles in that diagram. Couldn't we use the numbers there? So is that possible? Absolutely. We could say, oh, well, there's angle 1. Oh, there's angle 2. Yeah, so you could use the numbers. And you don't have to do the same order of the letters like we did up here. QTR could be angle RTQ. Now, only Q and R can invert. T, being the vertex, has to stay in the middle. RTS, we could call that angle STR. And QTS, we don't have to start with Q. We could have started with angle ST and Q. Notice how what's consistent is T is always in the middle. If we're using the 3-letter system, T is always in the middle. That has to happen if it's the vertex. You cannot just start throwing letters on a page. That's not an angle if T is not in the center and T is your vertex. So you have to be really, really careful there. Okay, so that's example 1. If you have any questions, bring those to class.